Still on security matters, hard-to-reach communities affected by terrorism in Sokoto and Zamfara states have expressed worry over the restrictions placed on the use of firearms to combat terrorists and bandits as first responders whenever they are attacked. They say this has left them as sitting ducks without any protection from the terrorists, leaving their loved ones in harm's way in this special report. News Central's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu visited some of the communities and tells us more.
Accessing terrorist-affected communities in either Sokoto, Zamfara or Katsina State, even by security agencies, is a Herculean task. News Central's crew had a feel of this reality as it sought to get answers from those affected by the insurgencies firsthand. The visit took us to Sabon and Isa in Sokoto East, Silame, Wamako and Tangaza local government area in Sokoto North, and Maradan, Maru and Zurmi local government areas of Zamfara State. One citizen who has been affected by the insurgency is Umaru Dogo, who has lost his entire family to a mistargeted airstrike at Gidansama village in Sokoto State, expressed his displeasure at the military for labeling him a member of the Lakurawa terrorist group.
I am just a farmer. I am suffering looking for what to eat when this Air Force jet bombed this place. My entire family lost their lives. My neighbors then came to help me pick the bodies to bury. Then ground troops came to open fire on us, injuring 3 people. After that, they invited me to come and explain myself. I did, and they threatened to throw me inside the fire from the bomb.
We also sought to get reactions from the Nigerian military over the unfortunate event, which left many dead as Air Force fighter jets sought to neutralize Lakurawa bandits.
Even when we clear an area, we have to pull out to other areas. So the state infrastructure needs the institution. They need to improve. They need to be on ground. The local government chairman need to stay there. You cannot be local government chairman of Tangaza and then you'll be operating from Sokoto. No.
The issue of road deficit is addressed, and once that is done, I'm sure it's going to help in improving the security situation within the Northwest region.
The visit also took us to Gongono in Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State. Stakeholders here at the community expressed their views on the war against terrorism.
So when they come, they say they want to save our people. You know, a local man, when you say you will save him because of these terrorists, they will accept you. But later, they understand that they are all the same because they will put their animals inside your farm. So they are all the same to you. That is why they accepted them before. But later, they ran away from them.
There are a lot of sympathizers and also informants. Before we go out of any operation, these sympathizers and informants usually call and inform the terrorists about our patrols and whereabouts. And also the locals usually allow the terrorists to come and marry some of their women in the place whereby they have a relationship, since this village and Niger are close.
Even neighboring Zamfara State has had its own share of terrorist activities. While the government is implementing a homegrown solution, its local vigilante groups believe that with more support from the military, much can be achieved.
Everyone here, both young and old, has a gun. Once these bandits invade us, everyone swings into action. And if it is your time to die, you know you have tried your best. Is that not how it should be?
The state government is, however, in the forefront of those pushing for citizens to be armed as part of efforts to combat terrorist groups. While the northwest region of the country continues to suffer the effects of terrorism, many here say there is much expectation from government to help end the menace. In Gusau, Zamfara State, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel, for that report. Now, to put this into perspective, we were earlier joined by former chairman, Zamfara Committee on Prosecution of Bandits, Abdullateef Abubakar. But before that, let's put into context what was said in the report by the Deputy Governor of Zamfara State.
Duk wanda a ɗan Zamfara mazaunin Zamfara, duk wanda a ƙasar Zamfara ya shirya duk kayan da kai rikawa na yaƙi, ya rika ma kai ne. Ko mi gare ka rika shi ka yi umarni da shi an ka zo cuta ma ka kare kanka. Kana da bindiga 50 ba sa Hausa ba 'yan uwanka guda ku kare kanku ga azzalumai.
Now, moving on to discuss this, we are joined by a lawyer and political analyst, Abdullateef Abubakar Jos. Hello, Abdullateef. Thank you so much for joining us at this time.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Now, can you speak to us on the legal and ethical implications, that may arise from what the Zamfara State Deputy Governor has actually said, and that's for citizens to take up arms and against bandits?
Sorry, point of correction. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a journalist. I'm practicing in Kano. I'm based in Kano, and I'm very conversant with the situation, security challenges. I'm not a lawyer, as I said earlier. I'm a political analyst and a journalist.
Please go ahead with the implications,
Yes, I'm very conversant with the situation in the Northwest, because this is not the first time that we are having that the leaders will be asking people to take up arms and protect themselves. In Katsina State, the immediate past governor of Katsina, Alhaji Aminu Bello Masari, excuse me, has once said so during his tenure at the same time, that the residents should take up arms and protect themselves. The same thing with the present Katsina State Governor, Umar Dikorada, said the same thing. But you see, all this situation, they are not helping the situation, because you can't tell people to take up arms like that, because the law does not protect you if you're found with arms illegally. You can't say you're protecting yourself illegally without arms. It is the failure of these leaders that they're trying to pass the ball to the people and telling them to take up arms and protect themselves. Believe you me, in the recent time, the security agents, the military, the Nigerian Army, the Air Force, they've been trying in the past few weeks in terms of bringing out, smoking out the terrorists. Even recently, as we speak right now, the most wanted terrorist among them around that end, especially in Zamfara area, which is Bello Truji, is on the run as we speak right now, because about a few days ago, his second in command was killed. His younger brother was killed, and his son at the same time was killed. So when you look at the situation, the military is trying on its own, but for the governor to be for the deputy governor to be saying that the residents should take up arms, it's a failure on their part, because even if you look at the antecedent of fighting terrorism in Zamfara State, you can imagine that the immediate past governor and the present governor, they've been accusing each other of sponsoring terrorism, of sponsoring banditry. So it has been politicized, sort of, not facing the real situation squarely, so that at least the bandits can be exterminated. But asking the people to take up arms is just illogical, because how can they take up arms illegally? If you're found
so are you saying that even if they were to take up arms, that it should be legal? Are you okay with that as well?
It should be legal. It should be legal. For instance, if the government is providing the security, the local vigilante, if the local vigilante are provided with the weapons that are accepted legally by law, it's understandable. But you can't ask the resident, because like what the deputy governor was saying in Hausa here, saying that even if you have up to about 50 guns in your house,
you can share to your brothers.
You can distribute it to your family, one after the other, to take up arms. You can't do that. The law will not take it that you are using it to protect yourself, because it is not legally owned. So these are the things, these are the narrative that we need. Okay, for instance, most of these states, like Katsina, Zamfara, they all have vigilante set up by the state government. they can arm this vigilante group with required and acceptable arms under the law, which is quite understandable. But you can't ask people to just, go out of their way to now search for weapons, especially gun, just like you were saying. Because if you look at what, I was explaining during at the beginning of this discussion, it is the failure of Zamfara state government in attending to the banditry and insecurity in the state. Let me give a typical example. In 2024...
Okay, Abdullateef, before your example, you also did say that the army is actually doing a lot to, protect the citizens of those states riddled with banditry. But as it is, it's actually been going on for years, and we know that these residents are growing really, really tired and impatient. So what else can the government do to address the lack of security in these communities without necessarily encouraging vigilantism or even further escalating violence?
It is the collaboration of the state that is even needed in addressing these issues.
Not the government.
Because, yes, when we talk about the collaboration of the state government, you see, the northwestern state has 7 states. That is talking about Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi state. We're talking about 7 states like this. If the state government decide to sit together, it once happened during El Rufai's tenure that they wanted to do it, but I didn't know what happened again, that they couldn't continue it. They had a discussion, and the fight was total, whereby bandits cannot run away when they're under tension, under fire from Zamfara state. They can't run away to Katsina. They can't run away to Sokoto state because they will be attacked from all angles. So that it will be a situation whereby it will be a concerted effort from all the state governments collaborating with the military. But in a situation whereby they've turned it to be political gimmick, political gimmick between the Zamfara state government, the present governor of Zamfara state, and the immediate past governor that is even now the Minister of State for Defense. Because all in all, they've turned it to be political. All these attacks, there are so many of the attacks that are even unreported as we speak. But luckily, of recent as I speak with you, the military is having a serious inroad into exterminating these terrorists. Because on a daily basis now, if you check, you ask your reporter to check the defense headquarters table, from time to time you can see, and we are even seeing it from people that are within the environment, collaborating what the military are saying, that most of all these terrorists, they are being neutralized. So it is the support of the state government that is needed, and that of the people in the area also, because you see, the military cannot operate in isolation. There's supposed to be support from the community in terms of information, because if the community supports the police, the security agent, they have confidence in them, it will be easy relatively to end this banditry and terrorism.
Okay. Well said, Abdullateef. Thank you so much for speaking with us on the news on this.
Thank you very much for having me.